Hello guys, welcome to another video. Today I would like to discuss the different types of functions which Databricks provides us to make us easy to use to handle complex data types like arrays, structs and maps. Structs and map both are same almost, and the way we handle is also same, but to handle complex data types like arrays and maps, Databricks has n number of functions which we can use to tackle different scenarios. So let's check one by one. I have tried to cover almost all whichever possible. So let's check. So here I'm just creating a temporary view. So it does not create, it exists only in this particular session. That's it. And this is the output. If you see, these all are array types. This is a single array and this is a nested array. So let's check how we can handle that. So the first one is a transform method. So in the transform method, we can iterate the values one by one in the list and apply some kind of operation. If you see here, I am iterating the column called values. The first argument will be the column name and each value inside that array. So the first 63 will come and 63 gets added with 1. Then 53 comes and 53 gets added with 1, so on and so forth. So if you see, I have created a new column based out of a column called values, and it is sum of plus 1 to the previous column called values. That's it. We can do any kind of operation like adding, summing, calling some other method as well by creating an UDF, and that returns some output and that value comes here. So that's how we handle list of elements inside a column using the transform method. And the second method is, this is almost same. Here we are just adding, instead of adding plus 1, we are just adding with the another column name here. As I said, we can even call some method as well and everything. We can do any kind of operation. And here we are handling the nested values, nested arrays here. The previous one which we handled was the single array, single list of elements. But here we are handling the nested element. So inside the same transform method can handle the nested arrays as well. So the nested values will have the list of arrays and the first array comes here. I mean 63 and 53 comes into the values and we are iterating over 63 and 54, 53, 63 and 53 and adding plus 1 to it. See here 64 and 54. Similarly, as this column is being used here and again the 25, 92, 95 and 2 will come here. And again we are just iterating over this 25, 95 and 2 and just adding plus 1. That's what the output we have here. Just a little change inside this transform function. That's it. And the next one is similar what we have done here, but instead of transform we have used the exist function here. Same, we are passing the column name and we are iterating column by column and we are just adding the plus 5 and checking whether it's greater than 100 or not. If it is greater than 100, it returns true. If not, false. If you see here, when you add plus 5 to complete list here, it will none of the element in this list will become greater than 100, greater than or equal to 100. So it has written false. Here one element, here this element, here this element, these all becomes 100. So it has written true. But if now here for complete list, it has written only a single true or false statement. Similarly, we can get a true or false statement for each element in the list. For suppose for 53, whether it's true or not, false, whether it's satisfied our condition or not. For 23, whether it's satisfied our condition. For 95, whether it's satisfied condition or not. Here we are getting at least if one of the element is greater than 100 or not, we are returning true. So let's check how we can check for each and every element in the list. Here, this is how we do. So what we have done is in the transform function, previously when we saw above, we just pass the column name and element by element we'll iterate here, kind of lambda function, and we'll just sum. This particular piece of code does not exist. We'll just add some. When you add this particular piece of code, the one which is highlighted now, the conditional check, it treats like an exist function. That's it. The transform function works like an exist function, but for each and every element in the list. That's it. So it returns whichever satisfies false, whichever satisfies true, whichever does not satisfy, it returns false. That's it. And in case if you want to filter the array elements, we have a simple method called filter. So this filter takes the column name as argument, and we are iterating element by element. The first element comes, second element comes, like literally lambda function. That's it. And here, so now we have another method to handle list, to convert list into integer element. For suppose if you want to add the list of elements, if you want to subtract, or if you want to do some kind of complex operation, so literally we can use reduce and aggregate, which almost works literally same. Reduce and aggregate, there is no much difference at all. If you see in the reduce, what I have done, just pause the column name, and the starting value is 0, and I'm just summing up. It literally works like a reduce function in Spark we have, right? The exact same functionality. We use rdd.reduce of lambda of a comma b colon a plus b. So we are just element by element. So what happens here? So what happens here is 0 comes in the place of a, and 63 comes in the place of b. 0 plus 63 will happen here, and then which will be 63. The 63 comes here, 63 comes here in the place of a, and again 53 comes in the place of b. So that keeps on iterates, and it returns some value. Along with the logic till here is exactly same as a reduce, and aggregate has almost similar logic, but I have just casted it here, which we can do even with the reduce also. Reduce and aggregates works almost same. It is used to sum up all the list of elements, or literally it is used to convert a list into an integer. That's it. Now guys, I'm creating another JSON data frame. Here if you see, I just have a column called DCID and source, and it's a struct type, key value paste, and this is how my data looks like. So when we have a functionality, we have a function called explode, which is used to, for suppose if you have a list as we have a column name call a, and if you have a list as 1 comma 2 comma 3, so the output will be call a 1 2 3. The single row is splitted into multiple rows. That's the purpose of explode. You just have to give explode of the list column name. You just have to give the explode of the column name which is of type list. That's it. A single row is converted into multiple rows. That's it. We have explode in Hive and everywhere, not just in Spark. I mean, this is nothing but we are just iterating in this particular struct type, struct, or we can call the map type, into separate columns. If you see, when I call value.description, value.ip, value.id, see value.key, value.id, value.device id, that's it. Just to split into multiple columns, we can just give the key name, that column name. We have multiple scenarios which I'm going to explain now in some time. That's it. If there are few other methods with arrays. If you want to get distinct values inside a single array, you can use the array distinct method. It just returns the distinct values. And if you want to do intersection, the common elements between the array, you can just use array intersect. And if you want to union the arrays, you can just union 1 2 3 1 3 5 become 1 2 3 4 5. That's it. I mean, it is literally doing union, not union all. Array except to find out the and the next method is array except to find out the elements which does not exist in the list 2. If you see here 1 2 3 1 3 5, so 1 and 3 exist, so it did not return. It just returned saying that only 2 does not exist in the next list. That's it. To join the arrays, like literally concatenating the array elements. If the next is array max, it will just return the maximum or the highest number from the array. That's it. And if you want to remove any column from the array, you can just use array remove. And if you want to flatten, if you see here, there are two arrays and they are flattened into a single array. That's it. Array flatten. And array repeat. It's kind of multiplication or operation on string in Python, where if you write into now where if you write high into 2, it returns high. So similarly, the same is happening with array repeat. It's just returning 1 2 3 twice inside the array. And to shuffle, just to shuffle here and there. That's it. And if you want to slice, in Python we have the slice operator, right? Like if you have 10 numbers in the list, and if you want to slice only the third to fifth position or fifth to sixth to seventh position, something like that, you can just use slice. The first argument will be array, and the second is the starting point and the ending point. Here in array zip, we are just appending the first element from the first array, first element from the second array, second element from the first array, and the second element from the second array, so on and so forth. That's it. If you see here, this one and this one are one, and 2 and 3 will become another, 3 and 4 will become another. That's what is happening here. We are just zipping those, which we can do with more than 2 arrays as well. Like all the first elements, all the second elements, all the third elements will be zipped into a single dictionary. That's it, based on, and it just gives the position 0 1 2 0 1 2. That's it. And if you want to find out at which position the so and so element exists, then you can use element at. This has a multiple elements in the list, and when you pass to at position 2, we have hello, so it return hello. And here it's element at, which is what we have seen here, but the above one is for array, and here it is for map. Key value pair, key will be 1, value will be a, key will be 2, value will be 2. So at the position 3 we have 30 as the value, so it return 30. That's it. Till now we have seen how to handle array type element. So now let's see how to handle the JSON, map or struct type elements, which are literally same. The JSON type, map type and struct type are almost same. So let's see. So I just have a table called store data. It has struct type elements like store is a key value, key, list of value. So how do we handle this kind of struct type or JSON type data? Let's see that. The first one will be the column name colon the key name. So what is the column name? We have given as raw. So raw colon owner is just first element only. Like it's not inside anything, it's directly the first only. See, if the store is closed, and the next will be owner. So raw colon column name. That's it. I got the value AMI, this particular value. Now if you want to go much deeper, for suppose if you want to read this particular element, you should use what is the column name? Raw colon store dot book of 0. This is a list of elements, right? So raw colon store dot book of 0 dot author will return this one. Book of 1 dot author will return this. Book of 2 dot author will return this. We'll see that. If you see here, see the first column name, the starting type store dot book. Either you can use dot book or you can use in quotations inside the square braces as well. See, the values are same for both. Store dot book. So what are we reading here? Store dot book. That's how we read the struct types. See, as I said, if it was an array and if you want to read only the first element, you have to use store of basket of 0. It return only the first one. When you do of 0 again, it returns this value 1. See, it return 1. See, let me show you the data once. If you see here, the store, inside store we have a basket, which is the first element, and inside basket this is an array type. So this is a 0th position, first position and second position. If I want to read only this particular value, store what I will do, column name, which is raw colon store dot basket of 0th element, which is completely this. It will return 1 if you just keep 1 0, and if you give again of 0, it returns the first one. If you return 0 of 1, it returns this one, like that. And literally Python stuff, whatever we do in Python. See, that's what I have explained here. When you do store.basket of star, it returns the complete list of elements over there. If inside the basket we have 3 here, if you see here I have 3 elements inside the basket, which is of array type. I have 3 elements, so it returned 1. So store.basket of star will return everything. Store.basket of 0 will return only this. So in case if you want to change the data type or assign some data type to the value which you have fetched, you can use double quotes. So what I've done, store dot book of 0, I'm reading the first element, dot price. Inside, let's check what, store dot book, right, of 0. That means the book should be of array type, and inside that I'm just fetching the price and author. So let's check that, store dot book. See, this is store dot book. Yes, this is of array type, and inside array I have multiple key value pairs, I mean maps. So what I'm doing, book of 0, that means only this one, and then dot price, only this, dot author will return only this, like that, because I have given book of 0. When I give book of 1, this gets picked. See, that's what has happened, and we can assign any data type to the value which we have fetched. That's it. And this from JSON and to JSON or nothing but like just to convert the map or a struct type into a JSON type element. That's it. Before writing, if you have the target table as from JSON type, then you can just cast it into from JSON and you can write it. That's it. Here what are we doing? We are just selecting the column name, store dot bicycle. Inside bicycle, I have a map of elements, price and color. So let's check the data first. See, here store dot bicycle. Inside bicycle, I have only struct element, only one element. If it was array type of like this, I would have given 0, and it is not of array type, so we can't use of 0. So dot bicycle dot price will return only this, dot bicycle dot color will return only this, but I want it as some JSON format, so I just use dot bicycle only. So I want whole this value, and I'm just converting it into a JSON type. JSON type and map type and struct types are almost same. See, and I'm just giving the data types for those keys and values, and I'm just giving the data types for those values. That's it. I mean, casting this into double and this into string. That's it. And now I have another sample data which we saw starting of this video, the same data, and I'm creating it into a data frame. That's it. And I'm creating the table out of this data frame. And like, how do we fetch the struct types in the PySpark data frames, not just in Spark SQL? We can even do that, like the column name dot the key name dot star. If you see here, column name, what is the column name I have given? Source dot sensor I gauge dot star will return all this completely. If you see here, it returns complete like this, all this value. See, dot star. But instead of giving it into a single column, it splits into multiple columns. Like if this, see, I'm just reading only this map only. So it description will come into one column, IP will come into another column, ID will come into another column, temp will come into another column, CO2 level will come into another column, GA will come into another column. That's what has happened. Just column name dot inside the struct key name dot star. That's it. And also, if you want to convert, when you have two columns and if you want to convert those two columns into some struct type or map type, you can use the struct keyword. Inside the struct, we can pass any number of calls or nothing but the column names. If you see, I have passed description as well as IP. So I made a map type with this both key value. That's it. And just a simple select statement. I mean, either we can use source I gauge dot description, or you can use call of this one as column name and again fetch only description from that. I don't need any other. Like if you see there is description, IP and everything, I want only description from that. So you can do this, and I'm just aliasing the column name. And also, if you want to convert some specific value into a list, you can use collect list. We mostly use this with group by. Like the scenario which I have used is group by and some column, and ideally what we do, group by and some column, and we do sum or count or average or something, right? So group by and some column, and we can just use collect list of it. See, I'll show you. For suppose if I have the data like this, so for suppose I have a data like this, key and values, and if I do group by on city and dot collect list of price, it becomes like this. So we can just convert some columns into a list as well which I have done here. I've just added the source type into a list. I just added a list here, that's it. And to JSON will convert the map type into a JSON type. Both are literally same. So that's it, guys. This is how we read the complex data types like arrays and maps using Spark SQL or Spark data frames. That's it. Thank you all.